that was quite intense. And yeah, my body just like,
Mm.
and I did start crying in the office because it's just like I couldn't regulate my emotions. So look after yourself. You
Mhm.
know, we are also humans. And shared with my boss at that time, it's like, this is just too much. And it's so sweet. I had a colleague who was one of the attendees of that meeting. He went by to my desk and gave me a pack of gummy bears. It's like, and I was crying at that time, and it's like, how do you deal with someone who's showing that emotion at the work?
Mhm.
And he dropped it at my desk, and then also just like silently left because when he passed and I just did this. It's like I just need a moment to
Mhm.
feel because it's quite intense, and
Sure.
then take a step back again, and then maybe rest, and then reflect, and also ask for help. I told my boss at that time that I think I need to set the tone for what behavior we have for
Mhm.
such meetings. There's a way to always communicate your feedback that
Mhm.
does
Sure.
not hurt another person. And people will also understand, oh, I did not know that that's how I come across. So you also let people know that, hey, next time you mentioned this, that's all right. But I appreciate this when you say it more on this tone or on this manner because it
Mhm.
affects me and affects my mental health.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it improved the relationship. You also become your true self, and you build more trust with that. So yeah,
Yeah.
look after yourself, but
Yeah.
still go out there. It's gonna build your character,
Yeah.
resiliency, but also take time to rest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not always easy to have that self-recognition to be able to know when you need to kinda stop a meeting and say, "Hey, let's regroup at another time." Um, Again, maybe something that's a little bit counterintuitive, but I have also been in similar cases where people do that, where they say, "Okay, you know what? We've reached the progress we're gonna make today. Let's go ahead and stop and reset and all that." So that's a very strong thing for you to do, to be able to have that presence of mind to,
Mm,
just kind of establish those boundaries and say, let's try again another day. Not always easy, but it's a very uh, I don't want to say mature, but it's a very advanced stage to reach in your career. So, a shout out to you for being able to do that. So Lauracell, I'm seeing some questions in the chat. And guys, if you still have questions, feel free to add them to the chat. Lauracell is going to be taking them soon. But Lauracell, before we go to the questions, how can people reach you? How can we support you? Do you have Instagram or other things you're doing?
yeah, so right now I'm on a break. I've been painting a lot.
Yeah, we
If
see
you're
that.
into art, then you feel free to follow me at Patapolar Bear Paints. It's quite a unusual name. It's actually my childhood dream to pat a polar bear. And
Really? Now I hear they're quite aggressive, though. You're not just going to walk up there.
I cried when I saw them. So I took a boat
Uh
in
huh.
the Arctic. I went to Svalbard. It's like a tiny island in Norway. And
Wow.
yeah, and then I saw the mama bear and the baby bear
Oh,
play.
geez. Uh
And
huh.
I was like, this is my childhood dream.
How close did you get?
I know we were in the boat probably 20 meters. That's
Oh,
still,
wow. So that's pretty close.
that is still close, but we're high up. So
Yeah.
like we're looking what the polar bears were doing.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so we see some of your paintings in the background. You've been doing a lot of painting recently?
Oh yeah. Yes, so it's also good for your mental health.
Hmm.
It works out for me really well. There are things that it's challenging for me to articulate in words or to
Hmm.
express, but through painting, especially when I travel, I still take photos and videos, but there's a feeling that I wanted to capture and share, and I do that through painting. From when I don't know if you go to Italy, right? The
Hmm.
architecture is so beautiful, and I love all of the textures, the colors, the cobblestone, the history.
Right.
Then I transform those emotions and textures and sensual experience that I have to through art.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So that's Pat a Polar Bear Paints on Instagram.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so guys, if you want to support Laura Sell, please follow her account. Or if you have a question after the chat, if she has the time, maybe she can message you there. All right, Laura Sell. So we're seeing some questions in the chat. You ready?
Sure.
So I think I've gotten everybody's questions, starting with the top here. So Landry asks, "Hello from Belgium. What are some challenges in integrating data science into existing wealth management processes?"
Oh, okay. But from my experience, I did not have this, because when I was at Citi, the data science is already there,
Sure.
and your
Well, maybe you
your
want to talk about just data in general?
well, yes, people complain a lot based from what they see, and where do they see it? On the UIs, right? And they complain that the data is incorrect. But we start first with how was the data gathered? It's garbage in, garbage out. So I
Hmm.
think we start with educating people how to enter those data, then to what is the correct syntax for entering it, the frequency for entering, because it's what you input into it, and that's also what's gonna be exposed to whatever analytics or dashboards that you produce. If
Hmm.
everyone has the discipline to enter correct, clean, and the right format of data, then you can really harness the power of that. Especially like when was that? On sales campaign. We were launching this massive sales campaign, and then we're educating each of the advisors to make sure that whenever you speak to your client, you need to log it. For all of the opportunities that you are already engaging with, you need to put it into the system,
Hmm.
because the system doesn't listen actively, transport what they listen to, and then enter it into the right format, data into the right system. And when everybody is trained how to do that, you're gonna be, surprised with what the data that you're gonna get. But
Yeah.
first, teach them how to enter it right and clean and correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. The human element of the data of data entry or the data creation is always such a challenge in basically every project. Okay. So Patrick asks, "What was the most important or impactful project you work on? What was the impact clear from the start?"
Well, on my recent programs, it's the launching of those sales campaign that we have from our CRM. And
Hmm.
is the impact evident? Yes. But how did we do that? We were clear with before we even kicked it off, we understood, okay, what is the scope that we're going to capture? Okay, then when we agreed that, we also agreed, but what are the success metrics that we're going to consider? So agree those at the start and make sure, of course, that there's data that is capturing those. And then when you create your dashboard or your analytics, then it will be represented and everyone will have the same measurement of what is success and what is not. But having those agreed at the right, that if it's not the right ones, then you can refine it. But it's so I also realized that when we start producing this
Hmm.
analytics and insights, people start to get competitive. You know why?
Hmm.
Anything that is measured gets improved. So
Right.
now they can see this is the amount of work that they're doing. This is the amount of work or revenue that it's generated, or the asset under management it produced. These are now the products that are getting invested on or getting engaged with clients. Then they know now we have data to work on.